And just days after the US announced Project Freedom to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz, US President Donald Trump has said that he is halting the operation in a bid to reach a deal with Iran. Now, in a post on social media, Trump wrote that he was pausing Project Freedom. He's pausing it temporarily, and this was following a request by mediator Pakistan and other countries. He added that great progress has been made towards a complete and final agreement with Tehran. However, Trump wrote that the US would maintain a complete blockade of Iranian ports. Later, while speaking to reporters at the Oval Office, Trump dismissed Iran's military capability and said Tehran should wave the white flag of surrender. But Tehran is too proud to do so. He urged Tehran to do the smart thing and avoid an all-out war.
They should do the smart thing, and because we don't want to go in and kill people. We really don't. I don't want to. It's too tough. Great people. I know the people. I had so many Iranian friends from New York and from other places over the years. They're great people. I don't want to kill those people.
Further, Trump accused Iran of playing games and said Tehran's military has been completely destroyed, leaving them with no option but to plead for a deal with the US.
Fighter aircraft from the sea.
Iran wants to make a deal. What I don't like about Iran is they'll talk to me with such great respect, and then they'll go on television, they'll say, we did not speak to the president. We did not. I just spoke to, we did not speak to the president. So they play games, but let me just tell you, they want to make a deal. And who wouldn't? When your military is totally gone, we could do anything we want to them. Who wouldn't?
Separately, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said the US military operation against Iran is over, but he stopped short of saying that the conflict is over or cannot be restarted. He reiterated that US has achieved all their war objectives. Addressing reporters at the White House, Rubio said that US efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz is not an offensive operation and the US would prefer the path of peace.
The operation Epic Fury is concluded. We achieved the objectives of that operation. I'm not going to, we're not cheering for an additional situation to occur. We would prefer the path of peace. What the president would prefer is a deal.
Further, Rubio said that US and its Gulf allies have proposed a UN resolution threatening Iran with sanctions if Iran doesn't halt the attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz or stops imposing illegal tolls and discloses the placement of all mines to allow freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. Rubio called the proposed resolution a real test for the UN. Earlier, a similar resolution was vetoed by China and Russia. Rubio also informed that 10 civilian sailors have died in the Strait of Hormuz so far. In the midst of this, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has also given out a few statements. He has warned Iran that any attack on commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz will be met with a devastating response. The Pentagon chief said that the US is not looking for a fight, but will not hold back if either if attacked by Iran.
To what remains of Iran's forces, if you attack American troops or innocent commercial shipping, you will face overwhelming and devastating American firepower. The president has been very clear about this.
Well, that was the American side. Now let's look at the statements that have come out from Iran. Iran has also shot off a warning now. In a statement, the IRGC has vowed a firm response if ships diverge from the route that has been approved by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. They've given a prescribed route for ships to take. As tensions flare over the control of the critical waterway, the UK MTO, it reported that a cargo vessel was struck by an unknown projectile. Furthermore, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has accused the US of pursuing a policy of maximum pressure to force Iran to surrender to its unilateral demands. Pezeshkian asserted that meeting such a demand was impossible. Pezeshkian also held a telephone conversation with Iraq's Prime Minister-designate Ali al-Zaidi. And it was during this conversation that he made a few remarks for the US. He said that Iraq could help mediate between Iran and the US. These talks come amid renewed tensions between Tehran and Washington in the Strait of Hormuz, even as a comprehensive peace deal eludes both sides. And for more on this, our correspondent, my colleague, our US correspondent, that is Susan Tehrani, has sent us this report from New York.
There's been a major turn of events in the U.S.-Iran standoff, and it's coming straight from President Donald Trump. President Trump says Project Freedom, the U.S. naval operation escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz, is now being paused after what he called, quote-unquote, tremendous military success and progress forward for a potential deal and, of course, negotiations with Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio had already been trying to reframe this mission as defensive, focus on protecting shipping lanes, and not a continuation of Operation Epic Fury. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had also echoed those sentiments, but also signaling that the military is locked and ready should diplomacy fail. We've heard all of this before, and it's far from a resolution. The blockade, after all, still remains in place and leverage is intact, and both sides are perhaps testing whether or not a deal is actually possible. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
And staying on with the US and Iran, a fragile ceasefire between the two remains in place despite fresh hostilities. But US President Donald Trump has downplayed this conflict, calling the Iran war a skirmish, a mini war as he had called it earlier. The American president also dismissed Tehran's military capabilities and insisted that Iran wants to make a deal. Listen to this.
They're failing. Their currency is worthless. Their inflation is probably 150%. The real number is 150%. They aren't paying their soldiers. They can't pay their soldiers. The money is worthless. No, they should do the smart thing, you know. They should do the smart thing, and because we don't want to go in and kill people. We really don't. I don't want to. I call it a skirmish because Iran has no chance. They never did. They know it. They express it to me when I talk to them. Then they get on television. They say how well they're doing. And they have no Navy, totally wiped out. They have no Air Force, totally wiped out. They have no anti-aircraft capability, totally wiped out, no radar. They have no leaders. The leaders are wiped out, the whole thing. And then I read the papers and they say how well they're doing. A situation where we have total control. As you know, the blockade's been amazing. It's like a piece of steel. Nobody's going to challenge the blockade. And I think it's working out very well. We're going to see. I can say this, Iran wants to make a deal. They play games, but let me just tell you, they want to make a deal. And who wouldn't? When your military is totally gone, we could do anything we want to them. Who wouldn't? Even shooting those boats, they've got 3 or 4 guys. They got a little machine gun in front. They're shooting at one of our ships that's meant for it. It bounces, they don't even know they're being shot at. And then they take it out with an Apache helicopter in about 2 seconds. They go, Apache, Apache, ship, northwest, 10 degrees. Turns around, boom. I don't like that, you know? You lose people. All these people, it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. One thing we have the greatest military in the world. I built it because I built it in my first term. I didn't think I'd be using it, at least so much in my second term.